The new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook Wild Game Recipes for the Grill, Smoker, Campfire, and Camp Stove is out on April 24th and is available for pre-order now. Here is your book for everything that's best cooked or eaten outside. From grilling to open fire cooking to Dutch ovens to smokers to barbecue to backpacking meals to how to pull off the perfect fish fry, with pit stops along the way for lessons about Ice Age cooking methods and the best 5 ways to construct a cooking fire you can be proud of. And of course, we're focusing on wild game and fish here with over 100 recipes, including stuffed venison burgers 3 ways, wild duck with ahi verde sauce, a jerky made with cola, a gin and tonic made with fire-charred lemons, and grilled frog legs made with a sticky sweet sauce. This ain't your normal cookbook, so be prepared to be surprised. Pre-order your copy now. For more info, visit themeateater.com.
I am KC.
And I'm Tyler.
And you're listening to
The Element Podcast.
Pretty as the sunset, you know what I'm thinking.
what is happening out there, my people. Man
Peepholes.
alive. Tyler, my air conditioner in my house is pretty much broke right now.
Yep.
And I'm pretty much broke right now.
I was about to say, me too.
It ain't looking good.
Yeah.
We might be, just living Great Depression style this summer, which everybody might be by the way things are looking. But anyways.
There's a good fan blowing.
Yeah,
down
we
there.
got a real good ceiling fan. We'd established that between level 2 and level 3, it is not a incremental increase.
No.
Not at all.
It's
kind of
full
like the
throttle.
difference in like a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old bug. It's not very incremental. Like they go up a lot between those right there. Yeah. And then you hope it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and better and better. We actually had some 1-year-olds, some 2-year-olds, and some 3-year-olds plus on a trail camera in Oklahoma from some public land. We just checked, and that's out on YouTube right now. Just kind of a fun little trail camera check video.
I thought you were about to say that's out on the N-Nation Turnpike or something like that.
It is, actually.
I was like, oh, no, please.
It is, yep, yeah. No, so go check out that video if you haven't. But right now, quite honestly, at least half y'all don't want to talk about deer. That's all. That's all there is to it. Because we can tell like what everybody's interested in, and when we post something pretty deer centric right now, there's still people who are like, I don't know, junkies. But there's also people who are like, man, I'm kind of like recovering from hunting season right now, and I'm not really thinking about that, and that's okay. Honestly, it makes the year really more fun if you don't just just specialize in one thing, but if you can kind of have a little variety to your life. What's the old saying is variety is the spice of life, right? And that's what it is. So it works that way sometimes, and it works that way for us. We have a lot that we look forward to for springtime. Honestly, one of the big things for us is gardening, which is a very slow thing to talk about on a podcast.
Yeah.
So, but we
also something that deer hunters don't always get into.
That's right, unless it's brassicas.
Yeah.
Not knees either, but just
I'm thinking about
brassicas.
starting a podcast called Southern Living. What do you think?
Are you?
Think I'd do all right?
Yeah, I bet it would be okay.
Do some gardening.
Get some cease and desist probably.
Better
on
homes
that.
and gardens.
But, yeah.
That's
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it is too.
You could name it Martha Stewart. I don't know if you've ever thought about that.
That actually I was thinking those are two cool
Names.
words.
Yeah, exactly. But
I actually, I used to be called Stuart in high
Did
school.
you?
That was my nickname.
Stuart Little.
Yeah.
And then you got big.
Yeah.
When you Stuart Big.
Yeah, and Martha,
Martha's Vineyard.
well, I wanted to change my name to Martha, but back then it wasn't acceptable.
Now it's better, right? There's a lot of stuff you can do in the spring for fun. Of course, we get into the gardening stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But fishing season is here, especially with these temps we've been having. It's like, I know we were driving back, I guess it's on Saturday, and there were people just posting pictures of limits of crappie just all over Facebook, and I'm like, here we are, just driving down the road. Not limited on crappie here.
Not limited on sheds either.
We're going to, not at all. We're going to go do a little crappie fishing on Friday.
Yeah.
And maybe get a few. Go out with a guy local here who's supposed to know the game.
Knowing the
We're
game.
gonna make a vid out of that too. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're hoping to do like a little mini series for you guys, how to. So hopefully it helps you throughout parts of the season. And I know for me, crappie fishing is not like, I'm not an expert at crappie by any means. I was talking to our new buddy Paul about this the other day, and we were both like, yeah, well, we're not really, I'm not that good at crappie fishing. He's like, me neither, you know. Definitely feel more comfortable going out and chasing bass.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty interested to learn from Dylan, actually.
I feel like I'm real proficient when they're in 3 foot of water or less.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't feel too cool about that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like dab and hold on.
Yeah.
And which is a lot of fun. I know people like to jig them, and I like to run a jig a lot too because sometimes it's way more effective. But dadgummit, if watching that cork disappear is a lot of fun. I like doing that.
Ain't nothing like cork, man.
But then there's turkey season coming up too. We're gonna do a lot of turkey hunting this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, we're gonna do a lot of hunting.
We're gonna do some hunting for
killing.
sure. Yeah,
we'll see. Tyler and I are about to get real ambitious with how much killing we think we can get done on some turkeys.
Yeah.
And Eric's gonna go. Oh, are we supposed to say his name? Oh no! We're gonna have to introduce y'all to the guy who we aren't gonna name yet.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen pretty soon.
Yeah,
he's gonna be our camera dude for this year. He is top notch, man.
Yeah.
That hog footage of me shooting all those pigs.
Yeah.
Eric threw down on that, and that was.
Eric, you said it.
I said it again. No. All right. Anyways, we're not really hiding him for any reason except it's just kind of fun to do a true intro. So
yeah, I was trying to think of some rhyme, you know, for his name, like Dud the Stud, but I couldn't get one to come out, you know.
Yeah.
So I messed that one up.
There's not a lot of things that end with ick.
Derek, like Oil Derek.
Oh,
yeah.
Eric the Derek.
Yeah.
Maybe
he spews good footage.
Okay. But so we've been getting some stuff in the mail here lately.
Yeah.
We got a little mail opening that we're going to do.
Mostly bills.
Mostly bills. A couple notices.
Yeah,
things like that.
So we, as you know, we hunted from saddles a lot. We've done some saddle type videos this year. Saddle versus stand. We did everything bad about a tethered saddle, which there ain't too much bad about them, but there was a few things that we thought we could talk about that people might need to hear before they bought them. Honestly, you know, I think across the board, we're not trying to trash anybody by any means. We were super pumped that we got the tethered saddles given to us, and they were a huge help this year. But we just got a new saddle to try out, and if you watch the video, you saw it. Cruiser sent us some stuff, and we've gone to Cruiser to see if we could try out some of their saddles because we had so many people message us and comment and tell us Cruiser is the way to go. And honestly, we put up a Cruiser unboxing, or maybe it was, I don't know, one of the more recent videos. Same deal. Somebody's like, man, y'all should try the Cruiser. So we tried the Cruiser, and they sent us some more stuff here. What's in this box, K.C.?
So these are some like ropes that are more lightweight than what we're used to running. I think that's going to be pretty cool. There's some saddlebags as well, a couple T-shirts, a couple sweet hats.
Let me see those saddlebags.
Yeah, saddlebag.
Oh, cool, dude.
Yeah, it's big too.
Yeah.
So I think these ropes are all going to be about the same thing. I don't know. We'll have to look and see. But
yes,
it's pretty easy to fit 2 of those in one of those bags.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So,
oh, yeah.
One of the things with some of the other ropes we've used in the past is they're a little bit heavy and bulky. So this will be kind of a nice change. It feels just a touch more durable.
Dude,
at least these are fuzzy.
Yes, yeah. These are way skinny.
They're cool. And if it looks right, there's a little... oh, no, that's what the carabiner goes on. Anyways, yeah, they should be pretty sweet. Cool hats. I mean, can't go wrong with a Richardson 112 style hat, right? So, anyways.
They're Richardson 112s?
Yeah, they're Richardsons. They look like 112s to me, don't you think? Tyler says his head doesn't fit good in those.
My head is too big.
Dang, we got that. Look at, it's 112.
Those are cool.
Mossy Oak Bottomlands, dude.
Yeah.
What up?
I'm going to have to leave mine outside and break them in.
Dude, Tyler's that kid that used to, like, throw his tennis shoes in the muddy ditch or whatever, just so they would break.
No,
you
definitely
or
not my
whatever.
tennis shoes. Just my hats. Just my hats.
But yeah,
Look,
what?
There's the Chris Webb right
I know,
there.
dude. Dang, Chris Webb, our most emo friend, didn't even get the black on black, man. It's crazy.
He wears black pants, black skinnies into the woods,
Yeah,
and he ain't wearing a black hat.
it's crazy, dude.
It's crazy, man.
I know.
What is he thinking?
I don't know. He's gonna be jelly of our black hats.
That's a lot of hats.
That is.
I feel
I
like
like
we took
it.
about half of the stock from Cruiser,
But
all but one.
Tyler just exploded the hats. Tyler,
Yep.
when you think about fishing in East Texas, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Pot-bellied largemouth bass.
Oh man, when are you catching those fish?
I like catching them in March.
It's almost like that's the time that we're doing right now,
Yeah,
right?
it
Let me see
almost
your
is.
thumb. Yeah, I see a little bit on there.
That
Yeah.
thumb doesn't straighten up.
That's all right.
The right
Yeah.
one's worse than the left one.
Yeah,
They kind of go the same direction.
yeah.
Football.
You got a few
Thanks,
tooth
football.
marks on that thing. How many
Yeah.
fish did you catch today?
I probably caught, I don't know, my dad and I, we caught at least 15 each, maybe 20.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all went on like a
we
little
lost
private
quite a
lake
few.
thing?
Yeah. My dad pays for this private water program where you can go check, you can sign up and go hunt or go fish any private waters, that are in the program. Our buddy Drew's in it, and that's who got my dad into it. We actually fished with Drew and Handy today.
Joel will smoke them.
Yeah, we did.
Good.
We fished the same. We both fished the same, lake or whatever, little lake, and it's a cool place, man. Had never seen a big fish come out of it really. Probably like 4 pounds is
You've
probably
been to
kind of
this place
top end.
before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we fished it once, and my jet fished it with my dad too a couple times. But it's hard. We're fishing out of a john boat. It is hard to get a good hook set out of a john boat sometimes. I mean,
Even that much more out of a kayak.
yeah,
I
you're
always-
just so low to the water,
Yeah,
man.
it's weird, dude.
Yeah.
Like you see these, like kayak fishing's really taken off on Lake Fork lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite understand it. We've talked about it. You could either get a fancy kayak or a, $19.99 bass tracker for about the same price. So
Yeah.
what are you gaining?
Yeah.
Anyways, setting the hook in any type of little vessel, it's like you move more than the fish does almost. So,
Yeah.
You gotta, if you want, there's like a whip kind of technique that you can
Yeah.
do, but that's how you end up breaking rod tips and snapping
Yeah.
lines and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to do a big old, just, full body rotation type hook set.
Yeah, it's hard in a john boat without knocking your dad out of the back of the boat. It's just, especially like you don't get to square up on it. Like if you're fishing out in front, it's just like, oh, instead
exactly.
of just like using your hips and everything in it. But so we lost a few. Like I lost a couple of bigger fish, like 4-pounders, or whatever. But it was fun, dude. They pulled hard, man. Like I don't know, it's just. Largemouth fight good, man, this time of year, especially in that scenario where they're in a pond that the water temp is probably higher than it is the lake. Like, they are fired up.
Yeah.
So, it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So largemouth's kind of like the thing that comes to mind in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so too for me as well. But, I mean, crappie is definitely right there at it. It's just that it's weird because largemouth, I get an enjoyment out of catching an individual fish, whereas crappie, it's like if I go catch 4, I don't really think about it like, oh man, that was awesome. Which maybe I should, but like I want to catch limits because I want to eat them, and it's like there's something cool to. Brian Koch is probably losing his mind because we're talking about limits, right? But limits are good
Well,
because
dude,
that means your freezer gets more fishies.
It's hard, there's hardly anything worse than crappie fishing than keeping the first one, and that's the only one.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, I made it back to the dock. I'll see if anybody wants this thing, or I'm going to throw it out, which probably isn't legal either. So,
Yeah, I mean, you end up having to clean one fish, and you're like, I got to get everything out just to do this.
it, dude.
Like, I'm eating a bite-size crappie
that's when
fillet.
you end up scaling it. I've done that a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I just don't even feel like dealing with 2 crappie fillets. If you scale a fish, you probably gain, I don't know, there's probably some ratio. Jesse Griffiths probably knows, but like 20% more meat, probably, I imagine, or something, Cassie and I, well, she won't eat that, so that's probably not true. She'll eat fish, but I bet you a scaled one she'd be weirded out about.
Yeah, probably so.
But Yeah, I think that I'm looking forward to doing the crappie thing this spring some more.
We kept bass today.
Dude, did you
We kept
really?
everything under 14 inches.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah, how many did that end up being?
I didn't catch any under 14, so I don't know. I mean, my dad caught a few. But.
Did y'all have much tactic, or
No,
are
I'm
they kind of
kidding.
hitting whatever they want to?
Yeah, we did have some tactic. It was real tough this morning. We were sitting there like, what is going on for a while. I think it warmed up, you know.
Dude, people get all gung-ho about getting out there early during March. You know, I think it's like the competitive mentality or whatever. I've not had a lot of early March mornings that have been very good.
It's the same thing on a trout stream, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like you
You're
just don't
waiting on
see
bug hatch sometimes too on
that's
trout.
the thing is like the bug hatch doesn't happen until you see some sunlight or something happen. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes. So, but yeah, I mean, we ended up kind of doing this thing where we were like almost like walking the dog with flukes. I mean, it was unbelievable. But like that was one of the best things. And then we started figuring out a lot of times that we could throw it up close to the edge of the grass and walk it out a couple of times, kind of make a little ripple, you know, and let it fall. And they would just smoke it on the fall, man.
Oh, man. That used to be in high school. I carried around, was it Silver Flake, 4.5-inch Zoom flukes, and a 2-aught hook, and that's all I needed.
Yeah.
And I just pond fished everywhere, and I would catch 50 and 60 fish, you know, because it's just like something about those, 16 and unders, they just cannot handle seeing that happen.
Yep.
You know, like you're walking that thing along and then you hit it real hard and it pops up out of the water and goes back down. Oh man, they can't take it. It's fun.
We had a good time.
It's pretty visual
today,
too,
man.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. We probably kept like 10 fish or so.
Yeah.
I bet.
It's good eating.
We had, for sure, man. I love largemouth. I mean, they're some of my favorites, man. I love eating largemouth.
Yeah. We haven't done this yet. We talked about catching an over and cooking it and see what that's all about. I mean, I haven't ever eaten a 9-pound bass.
Me neither.
People are going to rage.
They're going to hate it so
but
much.
it's legal.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if it's, how good it is.
People love, bluegill fillets and stuff. Well, what's interesting that a lot of people may not know, and I may have said this on the podcast before, but a black bass, a largemouth bass, is in the sunfish family. And when you fillet them out, they are clear and tasty. They are good, man. So definitely worth it if you have a place that's got a surplus.
Family of sunfishes? Do you know what it's called?
Fun fishes?
I didn't know, because I know that the genus is Micropterus, right?
It's your cropterus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the genus for bass, Micropterus, or something like that. But I didn't know if you knew the family name for sunfish.
No, I don't get into scientific names because I can barely remember my own name.
I think it's cool for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I like to try to sound smart and I'm not. But
Just trying to be Dud the Stud,
yeah.
bro.
Well, I mean, crappie are going to fall in the same thing too, right? Pretty much any of the large-scaled freshwater fishes are going to be all in that same kind of family. So most of the stuff we eat, except for catfish, which that's another thing. People they'll go out and catch a 50-pound out flathead and be like, "Oh, look at the fillets," or whatever. But that fish is way more rare than in like the sense of like taking time to grow or whatever than a 8-pound bass. You know what I mean? But for some reason we've deemed it unethical to kill a bass that's that big.
Yeah.
But these flatheads have been here as long as these rivers have been here. But them Florida strain largemouths, they ain't been here but since about the 70s. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Release the flathead and knock every bass in the head and throw them on the bank, right?
I think the bass fishermen of the world, the hardcore bass fishermen, are in the same league as the Pheasants Forever type of guys.
Are they? They got, this might not be the case, and if y'all are this type of person, let me know what this is all about, because I don't quite get it. But if I ever see a guy who wears a ring on his right hand, it's like gold, and it's just for an accessory, that's when you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've known a couple guys like that, and they either have matching bass boats to trucks, or that guy that we met at the event in Minneapolis.
His hair was fluffy and slicked back at the same time, if you can imagine.
He had a gold ring with a little diamond in the middle of it. Who's that? T. Jones and his.
That's some pictures from today.
That's
my dad
nice.
just sent me.
Yeah, there you go. Had your element outfit on and everything. Those
did.
are healthy looking fish.
Yeah, they are, man. There was a lot. There was only a couple of big head, little bodies, you know, but overall they were chunks, man.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what about other stuff? I know that some guys might be getting fired up about bow fishing stuff this time of year because that's when that all kind of cranks up. You know, we've kind of probably talked about bow fishing a little bit in the past on the podcast, something you and I have both done a lot of, and kind of, I don't want to say matured out of because that kind of puts like we're poo-pooing on it or whatever, but we don't really care to kill a bunch of fish anymore. But we talked about maybe going and like trying to shoot a big gar to eat and just see what that's all about, you know, and maybe trying to figure out if there is a function to bow fishing that makes sense for you know, everybody or whatever.
Yeah, we're not trying to hate on anybody.
No.
it's just not kind of our cup of tea, for lack of a better phrase. But like, I think it's cool because I think that, like, if you think about it, that there's like some historical reason or basis behind bow fishing. You know, like, I think that's something that I'm sure Indians did.
I imagine they were shooting them before they were catching them on a hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like, it's cool. It's cool to think about.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't imagine they shot just a bunch to just throw in the ditch.
No, that's
I
probably
bet
not a good
they were
thing
putting
to
them
do.
under their corners, using them some way if they didn't eat them, you know.
Yeah,
which
I'd
I'm
imagine
sure they ate them, you know.
Yeah, I would too. I bet you could take a gar and dry it out, and then you could have you some chaps or something out of that.
Yeah,
That gar
snake
hide.
chaps.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but brush busters, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You should
Might need
hog
some.
hunt in them next year.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, looking like a stick man.
Yeah. I tell you what, I've been walking around barefooted around the lake and stuff before, and a single gar scale is like almost like an arrowhead. It'll like almost cut your foot.
Yeah, I bet it
hard.
will.
So
you know what I don't do is walk around lakes barefooted.
I do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not
Tetanus.
smart. I've never got a hook in my foot.
Yeah,
that way
I figured that would come.
Yeah.
My dad used to, you know, not like us to swim around the dock down there too much.
It'd be a bad
get
spot.
hung up underneath on a,
Yeah.
you know, 50-pound piece of braid or something, you know.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, scary, man.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, it's real scary.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a fun time of year. Catfishing is a thing that, you know, a lot of people are going to do as well. If you want to talk about, like, something that's probably the most approachable is catfishing because it's, like, quintessential bank fishing for a lot of people. You know, like, you can go down here to the creek that runs in the lake and just, you know, throw you out some chicken livers and probably catch catfish in 30 minutes or so. And it's a way that about anybody can go fish. And then a lot of ponds around are stocked with catchables, you know, that you can take home and eat. And
Dude, they're so adaptable, man, if you think about it. Like, they can live in some hot water, and they can live in some cold water rivers, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's catfish in like, tons of different cold water rivers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You'll catch trout, you know, catfish where you catch trout sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
One of my coolest fish stories is I was in West Texas up on top of a mesa, probably at 6,000 feet, and there was a peel up there, which is a old kind of mud cement type water tank deal.
For our Michigan base, tell them about what a mesa is, too.
Oh, yeah. So it is like a escarpment or high mountain tabletop type.
Mesa
land
means
feature.
tabletop.
Yeah, it means table. Yeah.
So it's like it's a mountain, but that's
it's flat on top. Yeah. So it's you know, you go up 2,000 feet and then there's a big just flat spot on top where you can also have critters. And up there on top of that mesa in this windmill pila that was holding crystal clear water, it had moss and there were catfish swimming around in that thing.
It's cool.
It was real cool. Yeah, they're tough, man. I don't know what they were. They probably were like some type of bullhead or what's that? Mad Tom.
Mad Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
So a Mad Tom, it's probably the most plentiful
turkey
type of catfish. You know, you got like your flatheads, and then you've got I don't know how you're going to do the nomenclature on these, but Mad Toms are essentially dwarf catfish. They're
Okay.
tinies. They get to maybe like 4 inches long.
Are they
But there's more
like a bullhead?
Kinda, but usually they're kind of like
Bullheads
longer
only
and
get to
skinny.
like 10 inches most of the time.
Yeah. Dude, some of those records for bullheads are like 2.5 pounds. And
Yeah.
you're like, dude, that's a big mudcat.
Yeah.
If you don't know, mudcats and bullheads are the same thing. If you're being nice, you call them bullheads. If you want to throw them on the bank, you usually call them mudcats.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there's like, I don't know, 25 species of mad toms or something like that. Like those blind catfish that live in caves, those are mad toms, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So
That's weird. I need to check that out.
Yeah. There's also a spotted bullhead. I would like to catch one of those one of these days. I bet that looks cool. It's
Yeah.
like kind of like I don't know. It's more like a flathead kind of color. But
Dude,
with
when's the
some
last time you
grays.
caught a bullhead in Lake Fork?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute
usually
for me,
whenever
too.
and that's not even my favorite type of expression because it feels weird to say. But it's usually like trying to catch brim is when you catch one. But I have caught them in deeper. I caught a pretty good size one when I was probably 10. That's the last time I remember catching one.
We used to catch them when we were catching turtles. So, in other words, we're using dead bait,
Yeah.
like shrimp or something
Y'all
like
were
that.
meaning to catch turtles?
No, I'm just saying, like if we were catfishing and we were catching turtles, we were also catching
I got you.
mudcats.
Yeah. They're kind of weird, man. I
I bet it's been forever since I've
I
caught
caught
one.
one
dude.
in a throw seine probably 2 years ago and used it on a trot line.
Are they a
They're a non-game species. Is that what you're asking?
no? What do they call like a
Indicator species?
indicator species?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them people chunking them up on the banks actually worked. I don't know. But there's a bunch of them, there used to be in the Llano River when I go down there and fish, and now there's nothing in the Llano River, so I don't go there because the flood killed it all. But that's kind of the things that are happening in the fish world this time of year. I mean, I love spawn bass fishing. That's kind of, I'm like you, bass fishing is what comes to mind when I think about fishing in the spring. But
April is basically when everything is shallow. Like, I mean, that's when you go up there and you're bed fishing in April for bass. You're you also could be bow fishing very effectively, and things like that.
when I was a kid, I would always be like, "Gar!" and then like jump off the platform in the front and run back to the back and get my bow.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of April and early May, that's when catfish are up shallow spawning.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was the coolest part about, well, not the coolest, but one of the cool things about getting out with the lights at night bow fishing is that you just get to see the underwater stuff. That's and then there'd be like thousands of channel cat that were in that 2 to 4 pound range, just going nuts in 2 foot of water.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
A lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
That's it's a good time of year, man. It's a good time of year to get out in the evening and cast some worms out there and catch some catfish, man.
Yeah.
Make you a good fish fry, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Mixed bag is probably my favorite. That's why I like crappie fishing with minnows, because usually you end up coming home with crappie, bass, and cats. Mm-hmm. And maybe a barfish if you catch a big enough one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you put a big dip in. Bass and cats.
That's right, dude. That's pretty good stuff. Well, that's that's kind of one of the things we're hyped about with the fishing stuff. We were, really the point of this podcast is to kind of just talk about the cool stuff to do in the spring because, like we said, everybody's kind of recovering from, the hunting season and whatnot. And really, it's nice to get out and have some fun. Not that we didn't have fun deer hunting, but like sometimes it can be pretty tough, especially if you hunted on into December, unless you're Tyler and you kill big public land bucks on December 28th or whatever it was. But, there's also this, what do they call it? A thunder chicken out there?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Did Uncle Ted make thunder chicken?
I feel like Michael Waddell made thunder chicken.
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah. What?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, I thought you were thinking over there.
I don't know.
So we're gonna.
Ted might have, but I feel like that was a Michael Waddell thing.
Could have been. I don't know. So, some great mind thought
Ted's
of.
more of a backstrapper, I think.
Yeah, he could be. I don't know what he does to the rest of the animal, but he eats a lot of backstrap.
Yeah, hunters for the hungry.
Tyler and I are going to probably are going to embark on some pretty intense turkey hunting.
Thunderous trips.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully, there's not too much of the sky thunder and more of the roost thunder because we're going to do a pretty aggressive swing. We've been talking about it a little bit on this podcast where we hit quite a few states and try to kill some birds. And I've thought about this a lot. If the weather is foul, it could be kind of tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we get it, because in the springtime you might have a run of 3 or 4 days that's wet. That doesn't sound like good turkey hunting.
Sounds like not able to get where we need to go.
Yeah, that sounds bad. So hopefully we'll have some decent weather. Maybe we can do a little the opposite of storm chasing, where you kind of go away from the storms or whatever, and figure out where we can go.
Maybe
kill
to be
some birds.
punny, we talk about the fact that we're storm chasing because we're chasing thunder chickens.
Baby, I can definitely see some YouTube titles happening with that thing. So one of the things. Go ahead.
Well, you know what I had some people that were sending me some stuff and asking today, but I apparently our buddy Zach Fairball is about to join Team Element. Have you heard this?
Well, I saw he had our shirt on today. Yeah.
So it was like, hey, I was watching, I guess THP's
Osceola hunting.
video.
I like to call them Osceolis.
Osceolis, yeah.
Because
and he was wearing our shirt in there or whatever, and so they were like, "Is he like trying to join the Element?"
I think he is. He's. We got an application the other day from Zach, but I didn't really read.
It was a cameraman application. It was. Yeah. He was really hoping, but I think we're gonna have to break his heart. He can't handle it. He doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to do any of that. I don't think.
Can't break his nose because it's already been broken apparently. So
no, Zach's a cool dude though.
Yeah,
appreciate the support, brother. If you're listening, probably not because you're probably turkey hunting. So let's talk some more about turkey hunting.
Man, I can't imagine going right now and turkey hunting. I feel like it's not turkey season yet, but they're probably doing something. You and I did some turkey scouting the other day, and we didn't hardly see any turkeys.
Yeah,
except for one place that was pretty close to where we could hunt. And I can just almost guarantee you there aren't many turkeys there when it comes to turkey season. It's like, that was weird.
Well, they're raging in Florida. Did you see the video with Culpepper?
No, but you told me about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, point blank. And Culpepper's pretty good on turkey call, though.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm not.
Them old, them southern Georgia boys, they all had to, learn how to call turkeys real good. If you hunt Rios, you just got to make a little, I think, at least from my experience, you just got to make a little noise, and they kind of do it. Is
that right?
I don't know.
I think that's just a bunch of hoity-toity, stuffy.
Is that the elitist
purist
down there? They're like, oh, well, these eastern birds.
That's exactly that. Down here in the low country.
Yeah, down here in the low country, we have these eastern birds, non-killable turkey that the locals all talk about. But I don't know. I was talking to a non-influencer today on social media, if you call him that. It was
a civilian.
Yeah. He was one of those
peasant.
One of those ragers, like one of those rager accounts that they do some kind of cool stuff, but they cuss too much. I don't understand why. But he was talking about how fanning turkeys is a bad thing, and I was like, hey, for people who don't have turkeys where they live and didn't grow up doing it, what does that mean? And he's like, well, you can just hold up a gobbler fan to a gobbler that's far off, and they'll just run right in. And scientists have kind of proven that it's a reactionary thing, and it's not thought. So he's like, it borders on what is ethical. And I'm thinking, so if I want to kill turkey, I need to take a turkey fan with me. That's what you're saying.
That's exactly right.
I don't.
You mean you would rather me walk at that bird in the wide open field to give it a chance?
Well, he was saying the safety issue is kind of one of the bigger things, and I get that. If you're on public land, there's a couple other dudes running around, but at the same time, if you're shooting at a fan, you're an idiot. But there's some idiots out there, so
true.
don't be a dummy. I think we had a podcast like that one time. Don't be dumb, but
man, that's
So I'm not above that for sure.
Oh, dude,
because here's the deal:
we're gonna kill them however we can.
Y'all can get all well, I only shoot strutting birds who are singles or whatever, or no. If I'm going to shoot a Jake in the air if I get the opportunity.
If we get 4 Jakes come in, we mowing them down.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We're hungry.
That's the thing, dude. Is people talk about all this ethics stuff, and it's do y'all not eat these things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure, I'm not going to set a snare for a turkey and let it just die in the sun, because that's probably not a nice thing to do, and not legal either. But since when are we imposing these weird unwritten rules on what you can and can't do?
Yeah, I think Sorry about that. I think there's a little bit of this in a lot of different activities outdoors. You see the purist of fly fishing a lot of times. You see the purist of, or whatever you want to call it, of the kind of stuffy public land hunter guy.
The lone wolf.
Yeah, the saddle hunter.
Yeah.
You got that kind of thing going on. So it runs.
I
it runs
use
in
the
all
no
kinds of stuff.
stick method.
That's right. We call it the monkey method. KC does actually, but I think that what you get into, man, is like, I think it's okay to say that's the way I do things, but I don't know that. I would think that a lot of these people that hunt vote a particular way. Okay, not everybody, but I think there's a lot of people that do vote a particular way, right? They do that because they don't want to be told what to do very often, right? But then they want to go tell everybody what to do when it comes to hunting turkeys or when it comes to fly fishing and stuff. It doesn't logically make sense. So, listen, we have, Casey and I have to talk on a podcast, right? We don't always say the right thing. We don't always logically make sense. But there's a time for reproof and correction and try to make that better, right? And like people that you look up to that are more wise than you can do that for you, right? And you can think about it and go, you know what, that's right. So I'm not trying to accuse these people of being idiots, or not even being logical necessarily, like, or being illogical or whatever, but like they just need to understand that sometimes you need somebody to help you think about something deeper, right? That's why I have preachers, because sometimes when things go crazy in culture and you're like, man, how should I think about this? It's good to have somebody who is paid to read the Bible, essentially, to tell you what to do.
And also supposedly has, a little divine help along the way.
Sure.
That's kind of the idea. Yeah. So,
so I mean,
absolutely.
but and that's in any situation though, man. I mean, like, why do you read books? Like if you read books, why do you read books? Because there's people out there that may have some kind of wisdom that you don't have. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just what it kind of boils down to, is like people just kind of wanting to tell people what to do. So,
why do you like to turkey hunt, Tyler?
I don't.
You don't?
I like to turkey kill, I think, is what I like to do.
I'm with you. So we have a YouTube video called Hooked that I really got to kind of experience like the fun of it and like something more than just pulling a trigger. But I think a lot of times the difference in a good turkey hunt and a bad turkey hunt is if a turkey dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've there's some things out there during that time of year where it starts to warm up that are it's buggy, it's snaky. I know one time we were out in West Texas, we were hunting birds, and we worked we're like getting into like the 11 o'clock hour. We worked all morning on this gob, and he's just kind of in loaf mode, and he like works his way, strutting in all the way. I mean, I'm telling you, it took an hour for this bird to get to us. And he gets to like 40 yards, and he's just, we can just see him, You
couldn't shoot?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't me shooting.
Oh.
I don't know. Like, it whatever range it was, he didn't feel comfortable with it. And we're videoing. So it was me, Cody, and Wade. And we're sitting there, and that bird's just, still just hanging out, loafing, strutting, not coming in. And all of a sudden, like, this bird is like, I'm like thinking we're about to shoot any second. And Wade just rolls over. I thought he fell. He just rolls over and then gets up and takes off running a couple steps. And I'm like, what in the world? The bird takes off. And he points down to where he was sitting, and he said, I've been watching that rattlesnake come towards me for the last 5 minutes. And he just got too close finally. So that ruined that hunt. But, that's kind of like, that's a part of it that's like not my favorite, And we haven't dealt with it a ton, but I have bailed off in the morning off the side of a hill in turkey country after hearing turkeys, get after it. And it was kind of chilly that morning. And I'm talking, I was one step from stepping right on a completely coiled up rattlesnake looking right at me. It was real cold. He wasn't rattling. So, You
better hope your step is like real well placed. That way, it's like on top of him. What you don't want to do is nick a rattlesnake.
No, you don't, because you're gonna get nicked.
That's right. You want to be full on size 14, like a cow patty.
Dude, I told Cody, it's like the hair on the back of my neck raised up, and I told Cody, I was like, I think I'm done for the day. And he goes, you can follow me. So we walked around and went, and I was like, okay, well, I'll follow you. But
we got some new snake boots.
Yeah.
In the mail the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
We're going to be able to just be snake proof on this turkey hunt.
I feel like, how hot do you think those things are going to be? Because they're like rubber boots.
I don't know.
Like they're built like a rubber boot.
When I used to trap for a living, I wore snake boots 24/7, 365.
They're lace ups though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like those have a little more ventilation.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm going to try them for sure. I was just kind of thinking about that.
I just kind of thought about it. I forgot that we had those until just now. So that's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. You can just lead the way.
You know who doesn't have snake boots?
Eric. Oh, dadgummit. Said his name.
Derek, I mean.
Yeah, that guy. We're going to travel a lot for turkeys this year, which is going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Every state has different regulations.
Masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All kinds of regulations.
It's weird how we went on that big scouting trip the other day. We shed hunted and scouted and didn't have luck at either. You're out in the woods, and you and I and whoever that we kind of see here and there, we didn't see a lot of people, but like you kind of forget that anything's going on. But then you go to a truck stop.
Yeah.
And everybody's like bug-eyed behind their 13 masks, and it's like, what? You need to turn TV off.
Yeah, that's what I mean, really, dude. Because we also live in a town that has never worn masks.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I walk into Brookshires sometimes and be like, oh, yeah. And I used to wear my mask in there for a while because old people.
We didn't know what was going on for a long time.
Yeah. But now it's just, there's probably about 50% of people wearing masks in there. Mm-hmm. And I'm at the point where I think, it's just, I don't know. This isn't a political podcast, but we are saying that
I can tell you this.
The mask thing is just not something we're used to.
I ain't going to tell you who it was or what, but I was around a medical professional the other day who was highly respected in their field, and they were like, I'm over it. So you can probably find someone on every end of the spectrum on that, but it's a personal choice, just like about everything else is,
Well,
and I like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll smack you up, Joe. Oh man, Big Brother's gonna get us now for sure. We can say we want to. They're gonna ban us.
I'm telling you, I can sing a song, and when I go to YouTube, it's like the third one down the list.
I know, it's weird, huh?
Recommended.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I pretty much am going to make two things with turkey. I'm going to make fried turkey breast strips, and I'm going to make pozzoli or whatever out of legs and thighs.
Mm-hmm.
It's so delicious, but I kind of want to be adventurous, but is there a reason to?
I do. I would suggest, especially if we come back with more than 2 birds or so, especially. There's a recipe for tomato braised turkey legs in Jesse's book that is bad to the bone. I mean, it is bad, dude. It is like, I can't tell you how tasty it is. It's so red, and it's just got like all the collagen and everything just sticks to your mouth.
I
dude.
love that.
Oh,
what is it? Italian inspired, Mexican inspired, like what's it got go? Like what is it? Just kind of like a Eastern European kind of.
It's kind of Italian inspired, maybe. I'm probably speaking wrong on this, but it's got a lot of lemon in it. And he puts it over. What is it? I put it over mashed potatoes, but he uses some kind of different. It's not like rice, but it's kind of like rice.
Quinoa.
No.
Risotto?
No, I don't think so. I feel like it starts with a P. Cannot think of it. But anyway, it's like kind of a starchy kind of thing. So I always just put it over like mashed potatoes or whatever.
Sounds pretty good.
It would be good over white rice too, I think.
Yeah.
Really good.
White rice is pretty good. It's hard to beat.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Whenever last year about this time, we were all just hunkered down because of COVID, and we just had a baby and eating my mother-in-law's cooking. She makes white rice and Spam a lot. Oh, it's good. It's good.
It's just Spam with fried Spam and white rice. Yeah.
It is.
I
It's
used to
hard
fry
to
a
beat,
bunch
dude.
of Spam in college, and probably not the healthiest
It's
thing.
not, but it is so tasty. It is so delicious.
Yep.
Not as good as turkey, though. We'll give it
No.
that much.
No.
Yeah, I'll need to try that a little bit, man. And I don't know. Cassie's like, oh, we can make turkey breast sandwich meat. I'm like, you are not putting my turkey on a sandwich. Like it's way too good for that.
Yeah.
But there is part of me. It's like, man, it'd be nice to have like some smoked turkey or something. I guess you could do it like in a barbecue application. Maybe it would be.
I feel like you could dry it out real quick.
I know.
My
Growing up, my grandma tried to make like Thanksgiving and Christmas turkeys out of turkeys we shot at the deer lease, and it don't work like a pen raised turkey.
Yeah.
They dry out real quick. So what we know so far works real good. So probably won't deviate too far off of that, and they're delicious.
Dude.
So
Deer or turkey, you chicken fry that mug in some strips.
there's a reason why the best chef in Texas still claims that his favorite way to eat anything is fried.
Yeah, that's right, man.
That is. That's it. Well, I can't wait, dude. I hope we slay a bunch of birds. If y'all were in this for the outdoor talk, that section has officially ended, and we're about to really nerd out. And there will be a little bit of outdoors in there. And quite honestly, we aren't experts in any of this, but maybe you'll learn a little something, or maybe your interest will get piqued a little bit. But I think we're going to talk a little bit about our closet favorite springtime activity. Truly closet, because I've been growing some in the closet.
It reminds me of that South Park episode where Tom Cruise is in the closet.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a long time. That's an old one. It's like season 3.
They because they have like lawyers look at their episode once they're done with it every week to make sure that they can say the things they say.
Yeah.
In that episode.
I don't know how they get away with some of it.
It's all just particular wording, I think.
Really?
Yep.
Isn't it funny?
Yep.
Yeah, it is funny, actually. I haven't watched it in a long
I
time.
hadn't either, but they were pretty funny.
Back in the day, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk a little bit about gardening and maybe a little bit of fruit tree stuff, propagation and whatnot. Tyler and I both have a intense, deep, burning desire for tomatoes. We love us some tomatoes, and I got my seeds in the dirt finally today. The company I ordered from, I'm not going to trash them because they seem like nice people, but I'm not going to give them any promo either. They I ordered for somebody different than normal because they had a lot more varieties that I was interested in, some of the more like heritage types and stuff like that, heirlooms or whatever, and just some of the harder to get stuff. Like there's a San Marzano that I wanted to try this year for paste tomatoes, and you can only find that in some places. But anyways, I placed my order and got an email back confirming everything, and they were like, well, please be patient. We get a lot of orders right now, so, once your order is shipped, we'll send you an email or whatever. Well, I'm patient for like 2 weeks, and finally I was like, okay. If this is back ordered and you're never going to send it, I need to refund and order from somebody else or something. Well, I call and they're like, oh, you never got that? No, I haven't got that. Can you please send it to me? She's like, yes, yeah, absolutely. We'll get it out today. If you end up with 2 of them, if you don't mind, I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't mind, can you just return to send it to them? I was like, yeah, I don't want to rip y'all off at all, just get that sent out so I can get my tomatoes in the dirt. Well, either way, I would have liked to have had them in there like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Well, I had mine in the dirt before the freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Then the freeze came and froze my tomatoes. They lived.
Did all of them live?
Most of them.
That's good,
And
dude.
then I put them in the sun for 2 days and baked them into submission again. And they are back to life, dude.
Dude, they are hard to kill.
They are back to life,
They
man.
are hard to kill, man.
And I didn't know if they were going to make it back to life. And so I planted 72 more pods.
72?
Yeah. And so
That's what I did today, 72.
Yeah. I got mine from, I'll give them promo. I got mine from Baker Creek Heirlooms and from Secret Seed Cartel.
They've got some crazy stuff.
Yes, dude.
They got some cool stuff.
Yeah, and I got mine. I got a few from Johnny's just because they had some on sale, and Kayla was like, "I'm going to get some fall stuff." Of course, she bought a ton of stuff for her fall garden, and we didn't plant a single thing this fall, which I tried to tell her.
She did go out there and
kill everything.
Sprayed all that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. But yeah, so I've got a bunch of little baby plants right now, and I wish that they were all. I wish they had all been planted before the freeze when I did, and just I had a place to put them. But I didn't have a place to put them. The reason they froze is because they were like in my RV, and my RV. I thought I was going to be able to get propane, and they sold out real quick. Propane. Yeah, and so like they ended up freezing. I brought them took them to the lodge, and finally. But anyway, yeah. So I got a bunch of different kinds, but the one I'm most excited about, there's a bunch I'm really excited about, but there's one I'm most excited about it's like Cœur de Boeuf Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And it's like a heart-shaped tomato that I think they average like a pound. They're giants, and they're like kind of like a deep rose, kind of almost like some purple in there, but it's what it looks like. But I'm pretty interested in those. Yeah.
Did you get any green zebras?
I got no.
Did you get any green tomatoes?
I got some green ones, but they're all like cosmic or whatever, or striped. You know, there aren't any pure green ones. I don't think.
Yeah,
that I got.
I had some in my cart, and then my cart was like $70 for seeds, so I decided to kind of whittle it down to half.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up with any greens. I don't think. I might still buy more seeds later. We might should just do some seed swapping of what we got, and just be like, hey, you want some of these?
So the thing about the Secret Seed Cartel is they only send you like their packages are like 10 to 20 seeds, and so like with my 2 plantings, some of them I have gotten through.
Which one did I plant today? One of those ones I planted today was that way. I feel like it was maybe the Tropical Sunset I planted today.
Yeah.
There might have been not many. And, dude, cherry tomato seeds are tiny.
Tiny, dude.
Tiny.
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
you don't think about it.
Come up?
I know. You don't think about it until all of a sudden you start planting them. Like when you're eating it, you're like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Well, then I planted black brandywines, and their seeds are like the size of a peppercorn. You know, it's giant.
Dude, I'm interested in those for sure.
Yeah.
When you said that the other day. I don't know. I have some, different kinds, so we can definitely do some trade. Like I think those Secret Seed Cartels were sent from France.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have France address on them or whatever.
Fancy.
So.
Yeah. Dude, those Mediterranean countries, which France really isn't, but same kind of climate, they're serious about the gardening over there.
Yeah.
That's what those San Marzanos
are from. Didn't the tomato kind of originate over there?
See, I think the tomato actually is a North American thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought all the tomatoes traced back to France and Italy.
Maybe you're right, but I thought that Italy didn't have tomatoes until the Columbian Exchange, and I thought that was one of the always kind of the funny things about Italian food is people think of it as being tomato based, but it's actually usually cream or olive oil based was originally what things were from Italian food. But I could be wrong. But I think the nightshades are specifically North American. But I might be wrong about that too. So I don't know. If anybody knows more about that than me, let me know. You probably do. But that's. I'm also excited about my Kellogg's Breakfast.
Yeah,
which is a yellow tomato.
What's the deal on those? What are they supposed to be like?
They're a slicing yellow tomato. They're just supposed to be really good. Eat it with a fork.
They say yellows they're hard to find good yellows.
Yeah,
I've heard that. So, from what I understand, that yellows are not. They're mild usually, and so there's one. I got one yellow. It's called Buttermilk Falls. And they said on the website that they were this is one of our favorites year in and year out of all tomatoes, not just yellows. So I was like, interesting. I'll try those.
I want enough tomatoes to make a tomato pie. That's what I want to do this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, that looks real good to me. I think it's kind of
I don't know if I've ever had a tomato pie.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
You'd like it, I think.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
It's
like an inside-out pizza with a bunch of sauce.
Yeah, but not as a lot of times tomato sauce and stuff, like tomato is kind of the base, and then where a lot of flavor comes from is the basil and all that stuff in there. Like tomato pies kind of accentuate the tomato flavor.
Yeah.
And I thought that, because really what you're doing is you're taking tomato, it's almost like sun drying them, right, where you concentrate flavor. You're doing the same thing in a tomato pie. You're baking it for long enough for some of the liquid that's in the tomato to evaporate, and then you're concentrating flavor. So pretty excited about that.
That's cool. I just love eating them with salt and pepper.
Me too.
Sliced. That's like one of my favorite snacks. If I can just do that and diet on that on summer, I think I'll be about a 200 going into elk season.
My dad talks about, being our age, and we used to grow a big garden when I was a kid too, and he said that one summer he just was, building a house and just eating cucumbers like crazy. And he said he lost so much weight because, even if you lather them in ranch dressing, you can't gain weight on a cucumber.
Yeah. Dude, cucumbers give me pretty bad indigestion.
Yeah, they make a burpless cucumber that's supposed to help with that.
Yeah,
a lot of the cucumbers out there nowadays are burpless, and it really is a real thing. It's kind of weird how they developed that.
That's weird, dude.
Dude, you start looking at some of these fancy seed websites and things that you're like, okay, there's pickling cucumbers and there's slicing cucumbers. No. There are 3,000 different varieties that you can plant and do stuff with. It's like people go crazy about this stuff. Like you'll have somebody who's just like a cucumber savant. You know what I mean? That's just like they just know all about them. It's like, whoa. Which I'm that way about figs right now, at least. I love figs. I've got
fig.
I am. That's what's talking about growing in the closet. I've had those in the back room back there. I've had the heater on back there, keeping that thing around 78 degrees and somewhere around the 35% humidity range for the last 2 months. And
dude,
I got some good looking fig trees going right now.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's on another level.
They're easy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. If I had a house, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's so not something I could do right now.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have a house, I wouldn't have done the figs the way I did with the propagation.
I just
you can
think
still
about things from a non-house perspective, so. But yeah, it's probably not. You're probably not too weird.
Figs are easy, man. Like, it's not, I'm still pretty weird, but like, if you like wanted to get eccentric about, persimmons or whatever, well, then you got to deal with like or apples, which isn't really regional for us, but you have to deal with rootstocks, bench grafting, and doing all this stuff to make sure they work. Where figs, like literally, you stick them in dirt, make sure they don't get overwatered, and make sure they stay warm enough, and they're going to sprout and make new trees. Like, it's really cool to be able to work with stuff that, I mean, anybody could do this, man. Like, you don't have to do 45 of them like I did either. You can do 4 or whatever.
Right.
And I'm running on about 95% success rate on rooting.
That's cool.
Having success. So
that's cool.
I feel pretty good about it as a first-time propagator when it comes to figs. It went pretty well for me. I think I just lucked into.
Just gonna plant them all around.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna plant all those. I got all those cuttings so that like I would make sure to have at least one work. Well, it went really well, so I'll probably only do one of each variety. Maybe 2, depending on which varieties it are. I'll probably pot a lot of them and just do some taste tests and see how they do in the climate around here and stuff, and then kind of go from there. But
looks like the tomato came from the species. This is according to Wikipedia.
Okay.
The species originated in Western South America and Central America.
All right.
And the Aztecs took them to Europe.
Dude, what are your?
So I'm guessing in Europe is where they that's where they did all the genetic diversity and crossbreeding and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's why all that stuff traces back to France.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They got real serious about it.
Yes.
They're serious about their food. They just didn't have tomatoes.
And they have royalty over there in those countries. So, like the royal, like there are places over there still that and these are royal people that have people that keep gardens and do crossbreeding and testing
and their
and
life's
stuff
work
like that.
is to make this one tree make a fruit.
Yes, isn't that nuts,
crazy.
dude? That blows my mind.
The apple thing is that way in Great Britain. There's some gardens over there that are famous, and these people are their one job is to make sure this apple tree lives.
Dude, when that dies, isn't that such a sad day for everybody, man?
Dude, I can't imagine,
Yeah.
But yeah, and what were people in Europe eating? Because the potato is from South America. Corn is from the Americas. I'm guessing that there was some type of squash that was from Europe, but a lot of squashes are from the Americas. Tomatoes. Like, you're running out of the things that we eat. You know what I mean? Are y'all just eating root vegetables and, greens? 'Cause that's no wonder the Dark Ages happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad, dude.
For real, man.
I don't know. And peppers, right? Well, I guess peppers might be Northern Africa.
Are they? I thought they were from Mexico or something like that.
I don't know. Might have to look that one up too.
Yeah.
They're a nightshade as well, so I don't know. But I know
Explain that a little bit to people.
Nightshade is just a family of plants. You can look at anything that kind of, like if you look at a tomato plant, a pepper plant, a potato is actually nightshade as well. Tomatillos, eggplants, they all in their plant form kind of resemble each other. They make these bushes with leaves that are kind of arrow shaped and flowers that usually hang down and have 5 or 6 points on their petals, and they're usually pink or yellow or white.
I always think of nightshade as being a toxic plant.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's some level of toxicity to a tomato. If you're a person who has slightly sensitive skin, you go out and mess with tomato plants, your fingers will kind of get tingly.
I love the way they smell.
My eczema go nuts whenever it's tomato season. Yeah, it hurts, but it's worth it.
Peppers are native to tropical America. Traces of pepper fruits have been found in prehistoric remains in Peru and Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not North African. Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Central America was where
Dude,
it was at. That's why the Aztecs were so powerful.
Yeah,
man.
that's right, dude. Yeah. Golly, it's nuts. Yeah. I don't know. That's cool, though.
Yeah, it is.
Because, dude, imagine the implications of, I know that the world is trying to cancel Christopher Columbus, whatever. I don't care. But, the idea that the Columbian Exchange is, it changed everything, man. Mm-hmm. Changed everything.
Yep.
There weren't pigs in the Americas, Wild.
I saw a pig today fishing.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Down there drinking in the water, huh?
Yeah. Looked like it was right off the boat. Right off of Christopher Columbus's boat.
Just dropped him off. Old Chris dropping pigs.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. That's nuts, man.
Yeah. What kind of figs do you have back there? And why do you love figs so much?
I think they're cool. I like to eat them, but I don't think I like tomatoes any less than I do figs. You know what I mean? But the barrier to entry is pretty low, and there's all kinds of varieties, and it's kind of easy to mess with. I can spend 5 minutes a day on figs or less. Some days I only have to mess with them, and I'm interested to see because let me back up. Growing up, I used to didn't think I liked figs because I didn't really know how to eat them. There's a particular time when it's good to pick a fig. Whereas, a tomato, once it mostly gets red, it's pretty much good. Like a fig, you let it ripen on the tree, and then you let it go a little bit longer. And, once you get it and it's perfectly ripe, oh, my goodness. It is crazy how good they can be. And figs have an interesting story, too. And biblically, figs are mentioned a whole lot. I mean, from chapter 3 on, you hear about fig trees, Jesus curses a fig tree on his way into Jerusalem.
Because it produced no fruit?
Yeah.
Or is that is that the story you're talking about?
That probably is. I need to whip out the, John here or whatever book that's.
Whip out the John.
They're not all. It's not in all of the gospel accounts, but it's in one of them, I know for sure. And maybe it's Luke because it's a humanity kind of oriented thing. I don't know. Anyways, I'm pretty sure before Jesus goes in and is welcomed as a king, on Palm Day. So Palm Sunday, we call it. Not really Palm Sunday, but anyways, enough of that. He goes over and has this strange account where he curses a fig tree, and is mad at it. And I don't know if it's a weird deal. I'm not saying Jesus. Well, Jesus is pretty weird, honestly. I think it's okay to say that. He's a pretty countercultural guy, but like it's a intriguing thing. But anyways, figs are mentioned throughout the Old Testament and New Testament, and they are not like any other fruit. A fig is an inverted flower, so it's pretty much like before you see a flower bud, or before you see it bloom, rather, that's what a fig is, and all the flower stuff is on the inside, and you're not actually eating like a fruiting body per se. There's seeds inside there, but you're actually eating a flower when you eat a fig. And then there's two flavor profiles in figs, like major flavor profiles. There's honey figs and there's berry figs, and they taste quite a bit different. And then within those, there's different categories as well, and just different figs that do different stuff. Everything that I grow is a common fig, which means that it is parthenocarpic, I think is the right word, which means that it will produce fruit without being pollinated. You have San Pedro type figs and Smyrna type figs also. And both of those require a specific wasp to pollinate the fig tree to make new figs. It's not like a peach tree out here that any little fuzzy little flying critter can pollinate. Like fig trees take a specific species of wasp to pollinate them, which we don't have here. So we have to only grow commons. So those wasps are native to like Saudi Arabia, Mediterranean area, all in there, but they can't survive our cold temperatures or our hot temperatures here. They can survive in Southern California, and they have the fig wasp in Southern California and Northern Australia. Those are the two places they've been colonized. And there, you can end up with random wild fig trees, like out wherever, that are producing a new variety of fig that no one's ever tried. So it's kind of cool. But so nerd out central right there. Yeah. So there you go. But I didn't mean to make you glaze over with talking about fig stuff.
I get this. Yeah. What is Smyrna? What does that mean?
Smyrna figs, I'm assuming it's kind of referencing back to like the town of Smyrna, which I think is on one of the Greek islands. I'm not exactly sure on that. But Smyrna figs.
Because there's a Smyrna down near where I live.
There's a fig tree down there too.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's so coincidental, but there's a fig tree out in the middle of a pasture in Smyrna.
Huh.
Yeah. I'll show it to you sometime. It's cool. It's old.
How do we get it? How do we get the figs off of it?
There's no fence.
Public land.
Public land. You're not really, but public access, I guess. So Smyrna figs require a wasp to produce any fruit. San Pedro. So in figs, there's two types of fruit each season. There's brabas and there's main crop. Brabas grow on last year's wood. Main crop grows on new growth from this year. San Pedro's will produce a braba, but not a main crop without the wasp. So, like, there's species like Desert King is like one of the big ones out there. That's a San Pedro type that you can get like figs early in the year off of them because they produce that braba crop. Mm-hmm. And then Smyrnas are like kind of the traditional fig that has to have the wasp or whatever.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Thanks, cool.
It's crazy, man, because the fig is like, okay, this is real nerd out, okay? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. But I was on one of the fig pages on Facebook the other day, and this Italian guy was talking about like some history about a fig. I was like, that's real cool, man. Do you have any documentation or whatever? Like, you know, documentaries or whatever I can watch or read about this stuff? He's like, DM me your email. So I sent him an email. This guy's from Northern Italy. He's a professor over there. And he emails me this book. It's like it's a PFG or whatever. I don't know what the right thing is. But
PDF?
PDF, yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's professional fishing gear.
That's right, yeah. PDF, sorry. It's getting late. But it's a book of nothing but fruit trees, and it's all in Italian. And it's all illustrated, and it's from the 1890s or something like that. It is the coolest thing. I can't believe I haven't showed it to you yet. I have to show it to you when we get off of here. But it's so cool. And so it's all in Italian, and it shows all these Italian figs and stuff, and along with all types of peaches, apricots, cherries, all this stuff, dude. It is so cool. And all the illustrations are like old school, you know, like pencil drawn stuff. It's real neat. I don't even know what I was talking about with that. Whatever, figs are cool.
Yeah.
But, that's what it was. So figs are actually only native to like the Fertile Crescent area, and then because they were so easily propagated, it's one of the things that like when people were moving, like they would take fig cuttings with them because they knew they could just go stick them in the dirt wherever they went, and they would have food that year because figs are unique in the fact that the first year you plant them, they fruit. Whereas like a peach tree, takes a couple years to mature. Pecan tree takes 20 years, whatever. So, like there's these specific basic kind of type figs like a red Iraqi and stuff like that are or there's like what is it? Is a red Jordan or something like that too. Anyways, they're like all figs that are kind of older type figs. Mm-hmm. That species has been around for a long time. I guess it's all the same species, sorry. But that variety's been around for a long time. And then as you kind of go westward around the Mediterranean, they start hybridizing and mixing up, and then you get all these new varieties and stuff like in Italy and France and all this stuff. So it's kind of like the tomato thing. It's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, it is, man. It's cool. Like one of the things I liked about when I was buying tomatoes was like looking at there's some kind of lineage in some of them, and like these people are like getting these different varieties from. Sometimes they get them from like a guy that's kind of a well-known tomato.
Oh, there's 2 or 3 of those in the fig world too.
Yeah.
And they're one of them's name's Pawns. There's a guy in Italy and a guy in France. Everybody knows.
Yeah, there's some of that going on, and then there's some that like there's one that I bought called Goose Creek. I forget the actual story behind it, but it's something along the lines like there was a slave lady who like came over and was like transferred to North Carolina or something like that, maybe, or South Carolina, Goose Creek area of one of those the Carolina states, and she carried the seed in her pocket the whole way through like that slave trade deal or whatever, and carried the seed and kept that seed going or whatever. It's supposed to be a really great tomato. It's just kind of a basic red tomato, but it's supposed to be really tasty. And I was like, man, that's so cool. Like that they know that some of these things are coming from, these different areas or different countries or whatever, or different royalty families, whatever. It's cool, man. So I got a bunch of different kinds, got some cool stripy ones and got some tasty ones, and I got some small ones, and I got some for sun drying as well, which I really love sun dried tomatoes. So pretty excited about trying to dehydrate those. And I bought 4 plants at Pod's Feed Store the other day that are super sweet 100s, which I haven't seen in a few years, and I'm really excited about.
That's a hybrid?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know it is one of my favorites because it produces a jillion tomatoes, and they're
they make a
super
bunch.
good.
But from what I understand, you have heirlooms and hybrids. And heirlooms you can save the seeds off of, and hybrids you can't.
Yeah, I think
right?
it's a hybrid. Yeah. They're so good. Like, dude, they're round, they're not oblong, and if you cut them in half and put them on a Triscuit with cheese, you cannot.
They're like
find a better
little
snack.
smaller than a golf ball.
Yeah, they're not. They're actually smaller. They're really small.
Oh, they're like tiny cherries.
Yeah, they're like cherries. Yeah. They're like a cherry tomato.
Yeah.
But they put off so many tomatoes. I mean, I think I had 3 of them one year, and I went and picked one day and had like, I'm blanking on it. Like, the thing that you would put food in to wash and the water goes through. Colander. Sorry, it's late.
Yeah.
I had the biggest colander we had, like overflowing with tomatoes, man, with the super sweet 100s. So it was a good pick.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. And
me too.
We can't be that far off. Like, especially since we got plants in dirt already. Like, it's from flower to like 70 days after that, right? That you get a ripe tomato. We're gonna get a flower by the end of April.
I hope so.
So it's gonna be close to.
I don't know. I feel like we're a little late getting our stuff
We
in the
are.
ground.
I'm going to go
Definitely.
buy some plants.
Are you?
Yeah, because just a regular old generalized beefsteak's hard to beat, and they make a lot of tomatoes, so
Yep.
I'll probably get some of those. I just bought seeds for the specialty stuff I was interested in, you know. So,
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Well,
But it's exciting. It's an exciting time of year. I know we're not whitetail hunting, which is what a lot of y'all are zoned in on, and I know that none of y'all are listening now because
They're zoned out on
we just
fig trees.
nerded out about random plants for a long time. We might just start a different podcast that's just, called like Plant Nerds or something, and let's do that another time. But appreciate y'all listening. If you are, get out there and enjoy whatever it is you can get outside. It's a great time of year to be outside with your family. Just, everybody doing the same thing together, enjoying good weather, and hopefully cooking and eating some stuff, whether that is of the vegetable variety or of the meaty variety. Either way, sometimes when you're eating tomatoes, it kind of crosses the line. They're pretty meaty.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, but I hope wherever you are in this world, things are thawing out. And spring is starting to spring because it sprung around here pretty good.
yeah. While
Yeah.
we were gone, dude.
I know. We
crazy.
came back and it's like it's green.
I know.
It's nuts.
I know. Just took 2 days, man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And hopefully we don't get any late frost because I would love for all of my plums and everything to survive. So, anyways, guys, remember that. And remember, this is your element.
Live in it.
The new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook Wild Game Recipes for the Grill, Smoker, Campfire, and Camp Stove is out on April 24th and is available for pre-order now. Here is your book for everything that's best cooked or eaten outside. From grilling to open fire cooking to Dutch ovens to smokers to barbecue to backpacking meals to how to pull off the perfect fish fry, with pit stops along the way for lessons about Ice Age cooking methods and the best 5 ways to construct a cooking fire you can be proud of. And of course, we're focusing on wild game and fish here with over 100 recipes, including stuffed venison burgers 3 ways, wild duck with ahi verde sauce, a jerky made with cola, a gin and tonic made with fire-charred lemons, and grilled frog legs made with a sticky sweet sauce. This ain't your normal cookbook, so be prepared to be surprised. Pre-order your copy now. For more info, visit themeateater.com.